Hello, are you prepping for the Praxis General Science Exam? My name is Derek Masiaga, I'm with Study.com, and in this video, I'm going to walk you through some example electricity and magnetism problems. Let's take a look. Question 1. A 12-volt battery is connected to this circuit. What is the current that flows through the entire circuit? A, 0.92 amps, B, 1.8 amps, C, 1.5 amps, or D, 3.8 amps. So hopefully you can at least recognize that this is a combination circuit. We have both series and parallel components, but just to review, the electricity is going to flow from this end of the battery, and when it reaches this point, it's going to branch off into these two different branches. And that's the parallel portion of the circuit, the fact that we have multiple paths to give us a parallel portion. But within each branch, we have two resistors that are in the same line, okay? The same path. And so these two resistors are in series, as well as these two resistors are in series. And so when we have a combination circuit, my tip is to try to condense the circuit into one big series circuit. And so what we're going to have to do is we're going to have to add these resistors in series and then also add them in parallel to condense the circuit. That requires us to know how to add resistors in series and in parallel. And so we're going to start by adding these resistors that are in series. And so R1 is 1.5 and R4 is 6.0. And so when it comes to adding resistors in series, all we have to do is just add them up. So 1.5 and 6.0 gives us 7.5 ohms. R2 is 2.5. And R3 is 3.0, so all we have to do is add them up. We get 5.5. Now, what we can do from here is we can kind of redraw the circuit with our updated kind of condensed resistors. So if this is our battery, we're going to have the branch there. The top we said was 7.5, and at the bottom we have 5.5. And so what we've done here is now all we're working with here is a parallel circuit. And so we have to add up these resistors in parallel. And so when we add in parallel, we add up the reciprocals. So the total resistance in this case is going to be 1 divided by 7.5 plus 1 divided by 5.5. Now remember, for the science test, you're not going to be able to use a calculator. And so my tip when kind of working with some of these math problems is sometimes you might have to round up or round down a number in order to kind of do the mental math a little bit easier. And so that's what I'm going to do here. So 1 over RT, I'm going to round that 7.5 to 10, and I'm going to round the 5.5 down to 5. This is going to make kind of getting the decimal a little bit easier. You could also go and do the fraction here if you'd like, but I prefer working with decimals. So 1/10 is 0.1 and 1/5 is 0.2. So that gives me a total of 0.3. So 1 over RT is going to equal 0.3. So we're not done yet. We don't want 1 over RT, we just want RT. And so we're going to have to cross multiply here to get RT, which once again stands for the total resistance. So 0.3 RT is equal to 1, and then we're going to divide by 0.3 on both sides. 1 divided by 0.3, that's going to give us a total resistance of 3.3 ohms. Now, the initial question is asking us for the current that flows through the entire circuit. So they want us to solve for the total current. Well, since they gave us the total voltage, and since we solved for the total resistance, we're going to end up using Ohm's law here. V equals IR. So 12 was our total voltage. We're trying to find the total current. And we solved for the total resistance. It was that 3.3. But once again, I'm going to round this number down to 3 to make my math a little bit easier. So all I have to do here is divide by 3 on both sides. And I know that 12 divided by 3 is 4. And so I come out with a total current of 4.0 amps. And that matches choice D, 3.8 amps. We can understand that we kind of rounded up and down some of these numbers. So we weren't going to get exactly 4.0 as one of our answer choices, but 3.8 is definitely closest to the 4.0. Question 2. John is looking at an unmarked magnet where the positive and negative, north and south, ends are not indicated on the magnet. One end of the magnet is purple and the other end of the magnet is green. Someone explains that the magnetic field lines are pointing from the purple end to the green end. Which end is north and which is south on this magnet? A, purple is north and green is south. B, both purple and green are north. C, purple is south and green is north. Or D, both purple and green are south. All right, so they're testing our knowledge here of magnets, okay? And so the magnetic field lines are pointing from the purple end to the green end. That's the most important thing here, okay? And we know that no matter what, and I would, if this were the actual, question on the test, I would be drawing this out. And I would be saying, all right, we have a purple end and we have a green end. And essentially one of those ends is going to be north and one of those is going to be south. Because no matter what you do to a magnet, it's always going to have a north end and a south end. And so these magnetic field lines are going from the purple end to the green end. And so, here's our magnetic field lines. And we're going to be drawing those arrows towards the green end. And so it turns out when we draw magnetic fields towards one of the poles, we always draw them towards the south end and we always draw them away from the north end. And so this is how we know that the choice here is going to be choice A. Purple is north and green is south. Question 3. A robotics team is developing a robot that needs to be able to move quickly and surmise that a faster spinning motor would help. They are looking into different types of batteries to power their robot. They currently are using a 3-volt battery in the robot, but it isn't fast enough. Which of the following batteries would be the best replacement? A, 1.5-volt battery, B, 1-volt battery, C, 9-volt battery, D, 5-volt battery. So in the problem, it tells us that they're already using a 3-volt battery, but it isn't fast enough. And so I'm just going to pick the battery that's going to give me the most amount of power. And we're going to go with choice C. The 9-volt battery is the largest out of our choices here. And so more volts means basically going to mean more power, and more power is going to give them a faster spinning motor. Question 4. A circuit has charges flowing at a rate of 24 coulombs per second, or 24 current amps, and the opposition to the current is at a resistance of 10 ohms. What is the voltage of this circuit based on the given current and resistance? A, 2.4 volts, B, 240 volts, C, 34 volts, or D, 0.4 volts. So in the problem, they give us a rate of 24 coulombs per second, or 24 current amps. So what they're telling us is that the current is 24 amps. And that they tell us that the resistance is 10 ohms. And we want to know what is the voltage. So once again, we're going to be using Ohm's law here, V equals IR. And this is going to be a simple calculation. V is going to equal 24 times 10. So our voltage is going to come out to be 240 volts, which is choice B. Question 5. Calculate the resistance of a light bulb given that the voltage of the battery is 12 volts and the current passing through the wire is 0.25 amps. A, 3 ohms, B, 8 ohms, C, 36 ohms, or D, 48 ohms. All right, so the voltage here is 12 volts, and the current is 0.25 amps. So voltage was 12 volts, and the current was 0.25 amps. They want us to calculate the resistance. So we are trying to find R. Once again, we're going to use Ohm's law, V equals IR, to do this. So 12 is going to equal 0.25 times R. And then we're going to divide by 0.25 on both sides. So in this case, R is going to come out to be 48 ohms. I hope this video was helpful. If you're looking for more ways to study, check out our other videos, and then also make your way over to study.com to check out our Praxis test prep courses. As a study.com member, you'll get full access to hundreds of practice problems like the ones I just walked you through, plus targeted instruction for any topics that you're still struggling with, as well as test strategy to help you maximize your score on test day. Finally, we want to hear from you. Please like and subscribe if today's video was helpful, and let us know down below in the comments if there are any specific topics you want us to cover next. Good luck and happy studying!